Well, listen, as I mentioned earlier in my answers, the mayor has no structural relationship with the school district or with the superintendent. So what am I going to do in this situation? Well, I can be a powerful advocate and partner. It's going to have to be accepted on the other side, but I intend to use the bully pulpit, certainly to start, of the mayor's office to raise consciousness in the public about the necessity to really invest in education. And don't miss the fact that as a mayor, in me, you're getting an educator with 27 years of experience. You might talk to other candidates who've been a teacher here or there before, but I've been in the classroom for 27 years and I've dealt with students who come out of this system. I'm the only one who's really qualified to speak to that on a meaningful basis. And I'm not about to under-leverage myself as an asset where that's concerned. So I will be that partner. This is not something I'm saying in a campaign that I won't do something with when I'm mayor. I will be there for you. Now, what can I do? Well, there are material resources that I can offer the school district at the outset, and one of those, just as a quick example, has to do with dealing with truancy and dropouts. One, by the way, usually leads to the other. People with truancy problems eventually become dropouts if there's not some kind of intervention done to prevent that. One of the problems I think that the school district has is that they're very limited in terms of their resources, material personnel resources to deal with truancy. We have a police department, for example, in the school district and officers, but more often than not, their time is spent dealing with crime problems, particularly in the high schools, and not necessarily with chasing down or trying to counsel truants. What's the material resource that I could offer? Well, we have a cadet program in the police department. By the way, the police department, OPD, has as part of its charge dealing with truancy. We don't have the officers right now to deal with that, but we do have cadets. Cadets, by the way, are 18 to 20-year-olds. They're pre-academy, and almost always they're right out of the Oakland Public High School system. They wear uniforms, they don't carry weapons, but they can drive squad cars. What I would like to do is expand by a grant the number of cadets we have in our system in Oakland from 18 to 20 up to 100. And I'd like to offer those cadets to the school district during peak periods during the school week when truancy is most common and dropouts are a problem, to help bring those students back into the classroom. Now here's the logic of this. An 18 to 20-year-old wearing the uniform who went to public high school in Oakland is probably going to know where to look for people in ways that are different than a 45-year-old older person who's looking for them out of a squad car. Chances are also, if they're 18 to 20 years old, they'll know some of these people in those schools, or they'll be known by them. The trust level will be different. And this is an example of something I can offer that won't cost the school district anything, and frankly, we have to train these cadets to do that anyway. It's part of their charge. That's one thing I would do. I know I have to watch our time on the answers, but let me also say as a secondary answer to this question that another thing that a mayor can do is ride herd over the vigorous nonprofit community that we have in the city, the vibrant nonprofit community that does so much great work with education. In a down economy like the one we're facing right now, one of the problems that the nonprofit community faces is that they're all chasing the same dollars, either private money or state and federal grant money. All of them have different interests. They're all noble interests, by the way. But the reality is, with limited dollars to chase, and if they all get it, they can only spend little amounts of money in different parts of the school system, which means that their impact is limited. As an educator and as a chief executive of the city, and as the last person who will touch that money, if it's federal or state, before it's dispersed to the nonprofits, my fingerprints are on it, right? I don't control it, but I might have some influence. And as a policymaker, it's been my judgment in the last many years, working, for example, in the CSU system, that you get a lot more impact when you put more money and more concentration into something than when you divide it 50 different ways and spend little bits of money on different programs. I can be your best ally politically to the school district if I ride herd on the nonprofit community and encourage them to pool their resources and make a big impact with a bigger expenditure and more concentrated effort. And now here's the thing I can do for you politically. If you do it that way in the nonprofit community, I can be your champion the next time you need a bond measure or a parcel tax. I can be the one besides Tony Smith that goes back to voters and say, look, we spent a lot of money on this and these are the results we got and they're positive. Now let's make a bigger impact. Everybody dig into your pockets and let's see what we can do. I have to tell you, in the current political climate, voters are not inclined to go with revenue measures. I'm very concerned, by the way, with the school parcel tax measure right now, that it might be affected by the other parcel tax measure that's not popular. But I think we can make these things popular if we show return on investment. And that means, for example, in dealing with the nonprofits, if we make a big impact with their money, that's what I'll encourage them to do. The next time there's a political challenge for this, I'll fight it for you.